Hi guys, hope you're all well. Welcome back to It's Cooking Good. Today I'm making scrumptious Asian style prawn and pork meatballs. And these are served in a lovely aromatic broth with some beautiful rice noodles. Guys, this really is a cracking dish. So if this sounds like a bit of you, stay tuned. Let's dive in and let's get cooking. So I'm going to move this out of the way. We're going to start by making our meatballs. And I'm going to make them straight into the pan that I'm going to fry them off in because it just saves on washing up. And I'm all for anything that means I don't have to do as much washing up. So into the pan, I'm going in with 200 grams of pork mince, straight in there. Get it all out. Here I've got 200 grams of raw prawns. I've deveined them, and all I've done is I've really finely diced them. You could, if you wanted to, put all of this in a food processor and do it that way to save yourself having to chop them up, but I did, and they're going in. Get them all out. Into that, we're going to add some spring onion tails. I've got 3 spring onions here that I've just got the nice green bits. As you know, I call them the tails, don't know why. And I'm gonna add probably 1.5 spring onions to that mix. Okay, and we'll save the rest to go into our lovely aromatic broth. Here I've got 3 centimeters of ginger, which I've again really finely diced. And I'm gonna use half of that, and we'll save the other half for our broth. And to that, we're just gonna add a little bit of salt. So just season it up. Don't need too much because the broth has got soy sauce and other bits and bobs in it. So that is also gonna be salty. And some black pepper. Okay, so just get your hand in there. Best tools in the kitchen. Let's get it all nicely mixed together, like so. Just make sure that obviously you want that ginger nice and spread around in every part of that mixture. That's where a lot of the aromatics in this will come from. So just get it nicely mixed, and that's fine. Again, as I've said before on other videos, don't overwork it because what you'll get is those meatballs can end up a little bit tough, okay? Get your bit of your mix, and you're gonna make, we don't want these too big. These are probably gonna be like 2 centimeters round, if that. So you're looking for something that size, yeah? Nice and small. And I'm just gonna roll these up, put them on a tray here. So I'll see you shortly when I'm done. Okay guys, so our mix made up 24 meatballs, which is perfect. Just put those in the fridge now and then bring them out as and when you want to cook them. Obviously, we're going to cook some up now, but these do freeze really, really well. As long as your meat and your prawns weren't frozen originally, freeze them up and then just take them out to defrost, and you can make this up in no time at all because you've already done the hard work. Anyway, right, let's crack on and make our broth. So I'm just going to bring a pan on here, turn this on, and to the pan, I'm going to be adding 1 litre of chicken stock. Just pour it in. You could use vegetable stock if you like. I just like the chicken stock. I think it just gives it that little bit more flavour. So that's going in. And then to that, we're going to add 2 star anise. I love these things. Oh, just smells of Chinese cookery. I love it. So 2 of those. If you want more, add more. Similarly, take out if you don't want as many. The rest of our spring onion tails, so that's probably like 1.5 spring onions. I've got the rest of our fresh ginger here, and that's going to go in. That's going to flavour that up beautifully. And then to that, we're going to add some soy sauce. Now, this is a dark soy sauce. It's not too salty. And I'm going to add about a tablespoon. That's it. And some oyster sauce. Again, about a tablespoon, probably about there, okay? Again, it's just building up those flavour profiles to make this even more yummy. If you wanted to, at this stage, add in some chopped chilli, if you want it a bit more spicy with a spicy kick, happy days. We're not doing that tonight. I'm using this as our master pot, and I can keep topping it up, and then I'll be cooking these in batches this evening as and when people want to eat them. So I'm gonna bring this up to a simmer. Once it's done, we can then crack on, cook up our meatballs, and then bring the two together for the final dish. So I'll see you shortly. Okay guys, so that's actually been now simmering for 10 minutes and I think we're pretty much done, but that's what it should look like. Okay, so let's move this to one side. Okay, that is, if you like, our mother broth. And then I'm gonna bring back in the pan that we mixed our meatballs in. And I've just got that over a medium heat. And to that, I'm gonna add a little bit of groundnut oil. Use whatever oil you've got. It's just, I had a little bit of this, not too much, because the pork in there obviously is naturally a little bit fatty anyway, so it shouldn't stick, and this is non-stick pan. So, okay, and I'm gonna grab some of our meatballs and just put them in there, and we're just gonna gently color them, not too much. Okay, so I'm gonna put 5 in there, that's plenty for me, and we're just gonna cook those off for about 2 to 3 minutes before we start adding in the rest of our ingredients. Okay, so they've browned up nicely, just a little bit of colour on there. Remember, they're going to cook further in our stock. To that, I'm going to add some kale. I love kale. If you can't get kale, spinach works really well. Cavallero, if you want to be really posh. But I particularly like these greens. I think they add a really nice depth of flavour. So I'm going to add those in. Again, if you're cooking this proportion at different times, you'll just add more the next time you do it. Just give them a little shake around just to start the cooking, and then we're going to add in our stock. Okay, so try to leave the star anise in there, okay, because I'm going to be using some of this later. And again, if you need more, just keep topping it up as and when people want to eat. That's it. So I'm going in with a few nice good ladlefuls there. That's it. And we'll put that to one side. And then we just want to add a little bit of coriander. Again, I know it is a bit of a love or hate thing, but I love it. So I'm going to add some nice leaves of coriander, stalks and all that, guys. That's where the flavour is. And just give it all a little stir around. And I'm going to let that simmer now for about another 3 to 4 minutes, and then we'll be ready to plate up, give it a try, and see how we've done. Okay guys, so the broth is done. Took 3 minutes, and I'm happy with it. The aromas are absolutely wonderful. Right, so into our bowl, I'm gonna be putting, sorry, I'll bring this up to show you, some rice noodles or vermicelli. Very good. That's what they look like. I got these from an Asian supermarket, but actually I know Sainsbury's, I think, do a really good range, and I think you can get them in there. And all I do is simmer them for 5 minutes, done. Okay, and the good thing is I make these ahead of time, so again, as I portion this out throughout the evening when people arrive home, I can just put them straight in the bowl and the broth will heat them back up. So I'm just gonna grab sort of a pile of them. You might remember over Christmas I made the summer rolls, the Vietnamese summer rolls. It's exactly the same noodles, I use the same stuff. And there we go. So I'm just putting some in the base of our bowl. Just wipe my hands. And then to that we're gonna add on top our broth. Oh, looks delightful. Just spread it out. The ginger just coming through beautifully. Oh, you eat with your eyes. I think I'm eating with my nose. Smells wonderful. Right, that's it. Get that on there. I think that's plentiful. And then I like to finish it off just with some spring onions. So just cut them on the angle. Looks quite nice presentation-wise. And I also like spring onions. And then a little bit more coriander. So we'll just get a few leaves there. And this time I will sort of break them up a little bit just over the top. And there we have it, our Asian-inspired prawn and pork balls in a lovely aromatic broth. Let's give it a try. Cannot wait. Now you're gonna love this one. Look at me spork. It's my daughter's Imogen. She loves Itsu. She goes there all the time. And she always comes home with the fork. And actually, it's the perfect tool for what I'm about to eat. So let's have a little dig in. Just give it a little stir around, get those noodles nicely distributed. Let's try the noodles with a little bit of the broth. Oh, That is delightful. Really, really good. Right, the meatballs, let's give those a go. Good thing is I didn't make them too big. I like them bite-sized. I just want to do it and chug it in one go, to be fair. I don't want to be chopping it up in this bowl. So I would say it's definitely the way to go. Smaller the better. And you get more out of the mix. They are cracking. Right consistency. Really juicy, really succulent. They've absorbed, whilst we sealed them in the pan, they're still absorbing some of that broth, which is lovely. And they just go so well. A lot of your flavours coming from the broth rather than the actual meatball themselves. Obviously, we've got more going on in the broth. But wow, I know this will be a real hit tonight, that's for sure. Guys, definitely one to give a go. As I say, it's a great midweeker to leave your stock pot on the top and then make up portions as you need them. If you're all eating together, obviously, just make it all up in one batch. But it's relatively quick, it's very, very simple, and it is highly delicious. Really appreciate you tuning in and watching through to the very, very end. If you're new to the channel and you like the content, please do consider subscribing by hitting the subscribe button down below. If you've got something you'd like me to cook, please do let me know and I'll try my best to cook it for you. As always, I'll put all of the details of today's pork and prawn meatball aromatic Asian broth down below in the description. And all that's left for me to say is until next time, it's cooking good.